Hey guys, what's going on? I am back with returning pro DarthJarJar, the Three Musketeer Pro. Jar Jar, it's been a while, man. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty well, Ash. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic, man. You know, it's a long winter, but we're getting through it.
Yeah, almost through.
What have you been up to?
Just hanging out in college. I actually did a competition last month for coding, so I wasn't playing Cash Rob very much, but I'm getting back into it. I'm trying to actually build up my Twitch and YouTube channels starting out this month, so we'll see how that goes.
That's really cool. I want to talk to you about the coding in the YouTube, the YouTube channel and the Twitch. But first, a coding competition, man. Tell me about this. What's a coding competition?
So basically, my friends and I, since our junior year of high school, we went to kind of like a magnet school for science and technology. So they had more advanced coding classes than most high schools had. So we were pretty lucky with that. And we participated in this competition by MIT, where you write, where you compete against a lot of other college students and a few high school students, and you basically spend like 3 weeks. It's a very short deadline, so you spend a lot of your time in those 3 weeks writing code to make kind of a bot essentially play a strategy game against another bot. So I'm usually pretty good at that because I'm decent at coding, and I also am pretty good at strategy games usually too.
Nice. That actually sounds like a lot of fun. So you worked with like a team?
Yeah, it was a team of my friends from high school, and we decided to continue it in our freshman year of college. So it was a lot of fun.
Oh, that's really cool. How'd you do?
Yes.
Or do you not know yet?
Well, we actually ended up, we didn't get into the top 16 this year, even though we did it in the last 2 years, but we think it was mostly just because of the variance. The way they determine it is a double elimination tournament, so the top 16 teams aren't always going to make it. Like, they released the ELO rankings afterwards, and we were actually like in 5th place. So we think we just got a bit unlucky during the tournament, but we were still happy with our bot and how the overall competition went.
That's really cool. And last question on that is, what did your bot play?
It's essentially a game developed by the people at MIT each year. If you want to do more research on it, you can go to battlecode.org, and they make a new game each year, so that way you can't like reuse code too much from previous years or anything like that.
Oh, that's cool. I'll include that link if anybody wants to check it out. I kind of dig that stuff. That's really cool that you were part of that.
Yeah, it's really fun.
Moving on, as we talk, we're gonna talk about Three Musketeers, guys. I promise at some point. But the thing is before we get to that, why don't you just give a quick shout out to your YouTube channel too, and when you're gonna start streaming, so we know.
Yeah. So my YouTube channel is youtube.com/DarthJarJar Clash Royale. And I recently uploaded my first video that wasn't a stream highlight from Twitch. Before I was just uploading highlights. So now I'm looking to upload kind of a mix of some stream highlights, some prepared videos, and work on getting better at editing and everything like that as I go. And my Twitch channel is DarthJarJarCR. I have a schedule of Thursday, Fridays, and Sundays currently. So if you could check that out, that would be awesome too.
Yeah, that would be awesome, man. I got to stop by sometime. I didn't even realize that you were doing it. So shame on me and props to you. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't stream much during January because of the competition, but I'm trying to get back into it on that regular schedule.
Awesome. Well, you guys should definitely check out his YouTube channel and his streams. Again, those links will be included in the show notes in the description below. So tell us about Three Musketeer deck. You know, you made a name for yourself being one of the most technical. I'm just going to throw on the first replay here so I'm not just blabbing. One of the most technical Three Musketeer players in the game. And then for a while, you know, you veered off Three Musketeer, as did almost everybody in the game. Can you talk about why you think it's viable again in the game?
Well, I think partially it's just because of the recent poison buff. A lot of people are playing poison instead of fireball, and that actually helps Three Musketeers in my opinion, because a lot of times they can walk out of the poison as excuse me, as opposed to the fireball. It kind of just does the immediate damage, but the poison, they have to take a lot of extra care to make sure the Musketeers stay in the poison. So I think that helped a lot. I think also the 1 elixir skeleton buff helped Three Musketeer cycle a lot, just because you've always seen a lot of Three Musketeer cycle decks usually include both Ice Spirit and skeletons, but the fact that skeletons are just that much more effective now, I think makes the cycle deck better.
Yeah, definitely. I'm really enjoying, as just playing just traditional hog cycle. I'm really enjoying the skeleton buff. I think that it's back to where it needs to be with that one skeleton. I like it there with a 4 rather. So as far as the deck itself, before we get into the play-by-play, and we're also going to watch a live match or two. You're pretty high in ladder though, so you might be under level, but we'll see what happens.
We will see.
Yeah, but what I want to do is kind of talk about just the general philosophy of the deck for those who may need a refresher course in Three Musketeer play. What are you trying to do with this deck in the first 2 minutes, and how does that change in the last 2 minutes, or the last minute, or overtime?
Yeah, so essentially with the Three Musketeers cycle deck, you're going to want to cycle to your pumps as quickly as possible in that first 2 minutes. Really get as many elixir collectors down as you can. Play the Three Musketeers sparingly, but sometimes they're necessary in terms of if you already build up a big advantage by that time, you're going to need to go on the offensive at some point. Or a lot of times you'll need them on defense. For example, if you have no other damage troops in your hand when they play like a Hog Rider or a Giant, or especially a golem, you're going to need the help from the Three Musketeers. But really, whenever possible, your first priority is going to be getting those collectors down. Then as you head into the last 2 minutes, you're going to be wanting to split the Three Musketeers over and over again, tanking for both sides with, your Knight, your Ice Golem, and your Miner. Especially sending in your Miner on the side with the lower health is trying to grind that tower health down and eventually finish off the game.
Okay, great. So you're sending the Miner always on the side of the lesser health Crown Tower, and then you have your Knight or your Ice. Do you have Ice Golem as well in this deck? Yeah, you do. So you have Knight and Ice Golem. So you essentially have 3 like glass tanks / tanks to provide.
That's what's unique about this version is that you have Knight, Ice Golem, and Miner. So even if you don't have one of them in your hand, you can pretty much always tank for both sides, which makes Musketeers a lot more effective. If you have a tank in front of them, they're just so much harder to stop than alone. Yeah. But yeah, the Miner almost always gets sent to the lower health. And when it's late in the game, you usually want to do something like your Ice Golem or your Knight, let those tank the tower shots, and then send the Miner in, so they can do a lot of damage while the tower's shooting the Knight or the Ice Golem.
Okay, smart thinking there for sure. And I noticed that you don't have any other like combo spells for when you get that to protect that Miner or anything. Your only spell in this deck, I think, is the Log. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so have you tried variations of like adding a spell in there, or are you just happy with just the Log to protect the Musketeers from getting to the bridge, basically, and then once they're there, they should, be all right?
Yeah, you can include a spell. I think one of the variations you can play is take out like maybe Ice Golem or Ice Spirit and put in Poison, so you have something with the Miner, and that makes it more of like a chip cycle deck where you can turn it into a Miner Poison deck more often. But this variation I think is better just because you have those 2-1 elixir cards in terms of if you're looking to get a lot of pumps down cheaply and then kind of overwhelm with a Musketeer split push. As you said, you can use a Log to push troops off of those Musketeers, and then also the Log is, as we know, incredibly valuable on defense.
Okay, great. Do you have what's the average elixir cost on this deck? Because I don't have it on your profile to copy real quick. Do you know off the top of your head?
Yeah, it's the average elixir cost is 3.4. Looking at it right now, so
wow,
it's very cheap considering the Three Musketeers and the elixir collector.
Yeah, that is definitely a Three Musketeer cycle deck. That's a lot of fun. Okay, let's go ahead and put on a replay versus the Miner Poison here, from the guy from the Israel Empire.
Okay, yeah. Tell me when to start it.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, play. So why don't you just kind of talk us through your thought process in the match here and just kind of why you made the decisions that you did as we watch.
Okay, so here I'm just looking to cycle, so I'm going to play the Skeletons at the back to start. I see the Miner coming in, so I'm going to play the Knight and the Ice Spirit. Well, actually, I think I played the Knight on the Ice Golem, then as I saw the Miner coming in, I played the Ice Spirit to kind of stop it a bit. I'm really just trying to cycle my pump. My pump was, I believe, my last card, so I had to play the Miner kind of, even though I didn't really want to play that lone Miner, just because I needed to do that to cycle. But now I got my pump down. I place it in the middle because I know he has a Miner. And then I'm going to log that Musketeer as well to prevent it from getting any damage.
Now, I noticed that you had the Three Musketeers in your starting hand, but really under no circumstances are you going to play them right off the bat as a first play? Or
yeah, I really don't like playing them as a first play because it's really awkward in terms of if they can get a really good trade on defense sometimes, and then you're just so behind heading into the rest of the match. You always want to be ahead in elixir even if you're down in tower damage with this deck. Okay,
so that's why you're stressing it a lot, so I just want to emphasize again. First 2 minutes before double elixir time, you're trying to get pumps on the board. That's like your number one goal, right?
Yeah. like you saw there, I played the Three Musketeers because I kind of needed them on defense. Then I turned into a counter push. If you noticed before, I played the Ice Spirit on the Two Musketeer side. I normally like to play it on the One Musketeer side because otherwise they can fireball, get better like fireball, poison, log value, etc. But I knew he didn't have poison in his hands and he had just played it, so that's why I went for the Ice Spirit on that side that time.
Okay, when you play your Three Musketeers in a situation like this, if you were going to play your Three Musketeers, would you put the two on the right side because of the elixir pump on the left?
No, I'm gonna split to the other side because I mean it's far enough up that they can't hit the elixir pump as well. But what I'm mainly looking to do is build up as you can see, my miner on the right side because it's a lower health. So I'm thinking in advance of I'm gonna want to put a knight, miner, musketeer push on the right side, and on the left side I'm just gonna have my ice golem, two musketeers.
Okay, but just in general, I guess, is what I was asking. I should have been more clear. Like, do you, if you have an elixir pump way in the back, like you do right now, are you just always playing your musketeers in front of the king tower instead?
Yeah,
okay.
You never want to play your Three Musketeers all the way behind your king tower when you have an elixir pump up, because otherwise they can fireball or poison and hit two of the musketeers or even one of the musketeers, and a collector and the tower is too much value to give them.
Okay. And it worked like magic here. It's a very, very good job. And this is the time that you can really punish your opponents here. And once you already have one tower lead on them, and you just play the Three Musketeers, boom, right on the king tower. So
yeah, I think he gave up there because he knew he was in trouble. But yeah, once you get that one tower down, it's really tough for them. But you have to be careful though, because if you're playing against a skilled player, they sometimes think about when you're about to play a Three Musketeers there and place like a tank there or an Inferno Tower there or something to stop it, so you have to be careful.
Yeah, let's go ahead and go to the Giant Three Musk, maybe? Yeah, the Giant Three Musk is good. All right, let's watch this one again. Go over this one. I press play right now.
Okay.
So what is a good starting hand with this deck is just when you have the Elixir Collector in your hand?
Yeah, Elixir Collector is the best, and then also if you have Ice Spirit, that's also great because that means if they send in a miner, you can Ice Spirit it and then place down either Ice Golem, Knight, or Skeletons to kill it. Or sorry, not kill it, but in some cases. But yeah, just stop it from attacking your pump.
Yeah, the Ice Spirit will make it retarget onto whatever you drop in the meantime.
Exactly.
Yep, nice. So now he's playing, well, you don't know it yet, but he's playing another Three Musketeer deck against you, so it's going to be the battle of the Three Musketeers, but you have the cheaper deck, obviously.
Yeah, so in this case, I think it's a pretty even matchup because I have a cheaper deck, so I can cycle more pumps, but he is a giant, which is like a heavier tank, so he can get like a tank in front of his Three Musketeers, and that can be really good against sometimes. I think the key in this matchup is to recognize how you're going to want to play these Musketeers differently from in a regular matchup. So something he did wrong there is he played his Two Musketeers way far behind his Giant, and that's because you need the Musketeer like right behind the Giant to kind of work with it. If you saw he played it so far back that the Musketeers weren't even like in conjunction with the Giant, they were kind of just way behind. So that's something I didn't like that he did. And you saw there, I played all Three Musketeers on the same side for the DPS against the Giant, and the reason I knew I could do that is because I saw you play his own Three Musketeers, and when you're playing a Giant Three Musketeer deck, they almost never have like a Fireball, a Poison, a Lightning, something like that. It's almost always one spell, just like my deck only has a log. So if I'm him, I'm also playing all Three Musketeers on one side. I think that's a mistake he makes throughout this match.
Very interesting. I was going to ask you about that, but it's just you being very perceptive to Three Musketeer meta, basically.
Yeah, this is actually a common deck. I don't know about a common deck, but I saw someone playing at the top of the leaderboard, so I recognized it as we run into the match.
And that actually that's actually a useful tip for everybody out there. If you just take a glance at the top of the leaderboard and you look at the decks that are doing well, and especially if there's a few of them doing well, you might run into those. You're not going to run into those people, but you'll run into those same decks, people copying them.
Yeah, and especially if also if like popular YouTubers, like someone like Orange Juice makes a video on a deck. So for example, when Orange Juice made the video on the Knight Battle Ram Rocket deck for the Battle Ram challenge, like probably at least like 10 to 15% of players were playing it. So if you saw a Knight in the back played at the start, you could often safely assume that they were running that deck. So just being aware of what decks a lot of people are playing can be big in terms of figuring out your strategy near the start of the game before you usually know their full deck.
For sure. And look at it, 3 Musketeers in the same lane. It looks so dangerous, but it's working out very well for you. And you get 6 Musketeers for a second. You get 6 Musketeers all in the arena at the same time. Very nice.
So as I was saying earlier, he just really failed to recognize that he needs to be playing those 3 Musketeers in the same lane. If he plays Giant and then 3 Musketeers right behind them, with my deck, there's very little I can do to stop that extremely effectively. So you kind of just have to be perceptive of the deck you're playing and adjust your strategy based on that.
Okay, well, want to go into a live match here?
Yeah, sure.
All right, sweet. Whenever you're ready, man.
I'm gonna enter. I don't know how long the queue is. It actually says 14 seconds. A few times I've entered and it says like estimated time 30 seconds, even up to a minute. So. Okay.
All right, well, I got my eyes peeled on you on my friends list here, so we'll be ready to hop on when you find a match. While we're looking for a match here, are there any like really common mistakes that you see with 3 Musketeer players that, you know, besides that guy that you just played against? Is there any way maybe being too aggressive or not aggressive enough, or just poor elixir management? Like, what are the common mistakes?
Yeah, I think a lot of players make big mistakes in terms of not getting enough pumps up early. You have to always remember that's your first priority early in the game, is getting pumps up as quickly as possible. And then also sometimes not doing the second step and not converting the damage as hard as it can, you know, going for kind of those Knight Miner combinations near the end of the game. And translating that damage. So you have to be really, really pump near the start, and then you have to remember to push that damage through at the end. So by the way, I am going to be forced to play my 3 Musketeers here because otherwise I won't have enough damage to really take care of that Giant. I'm unfortunately not going to be able to tank for the other side, and he does have the Barbarians, which is going to be a bad matchup for us because the Barbarians are just really good against 3 Musketeer decks in general. You can stop that 2 Musketeer side with very little difficulty. I really wanted to ignore those Barbarians and get a pump down, but since the tower was targeting the higher health one, I had to play something down, or else I would have taken too much damage.
Yeah, they can be even two Barbarians can take off like hundreds and hundreds of HP off a tower. Yeah, it's deceptive at times.
So he has Bowler, which is pretty bad for us.
Another good counter.
Yeah, I was thinking about playing the pump, but I think if I play the pump, he just plays a Giant in front and I have no response. Like, even now it's going to be really tough for me to defend this. So we'll see how well I can do. I'm going to try to distract the Bowler with my Ice Golem, then place the Skeletons down. He's going to place Barbarians there, but there's not really anything I can do about that. I'm gonna lock this and take a bit of damage and try to get a pump down, just because I need to get a pump down as soon as possible.
And you do get 2 shots in on that left tower, the Musketeer, and the other tower only gets down to about the same HP as your other tower. So at this point, you're trying to take the initiative, take that elixir, take a little bit of damage, get the elixir, and be able to get a pump on the board.
Yeah. Actually, what I'm seeing now, though, is he hasn't played a spell like Fireball. Normally, if you have like Fireball, Poison, Lightning, something like that, you would have played it by now. So I am going to go for 3 Musketeers on the same side. I think if I don't do that, I pretty much have no chance in this game. I kind of needed to do that and take that risk. Okay, so here's what's going to happen. I know he's going to play a Bowler here, and I need to distract it with my Miner. Let's see if this works. So I need to make it face the other way so it doesn't kill my Musketeers. I logged it, but it still didn't retarget.
There it is.
Yeah,
but he had
you. Because my Musketeers were already dead there. Okay, so I'm gonna do this again. I'm gonna place all 3 Musketeers on the same side. His Bowler's gonna my Ice Golem. So the key in this match is gonna be trying to make sure that his Bowler doesn't. And I did it again. I should have placed that Knight down a bit earlier. So, but this time I really need to get this Miner in on time and distract his Bowler. His log actually kills 2 of my Musketeers anyway.
And arrows.
So, yeah.
So he has arrows, log, and zap. Yeah. None of them alone lethal, but.
Yeah, it's really tough with all of them combined. I'm guessing this will end up a draw just because I can play defense with my 3 Musketeers and he can't really stop me, but he can also has really good defense with his Bowler against my 3 Musketeers. But I'm going to try my best to get through. Okay, let's try the Miner again. We'll get it through in time. Oh, not quite. And yeah, that's going to be the end of those 3 Musketeers. Okay, he again goes for this Giant Minions push. He seems like he does that a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, I need to put down something here, also take too much damage from the Bowler, and now I'm not going to get my Miner down in time, I think.
Yeah, this is looking like a draw.
Yeah, it's really tough to get a Miner down in time to get to retarget. Oh, I got to retarget this time.
What?
Musketeer is going to do enough damage? Oh, this is so close.
Oh no!
I need to cycle to my miner as I
need
can.
that miner and a log.
I need a miner and a log. Yeah.
Quick! Oh, you
log,
got
get
it!
there.
Oh!
That was so close, man.
That was sweet, man.
Wow, that was an insanely close game. I mean,
Oh man,
that
I
was
thought for sure you were gonna tie there.
Yeah, me too. I mean, that's a really even matchup because even though he doesn't have those spells, he has the bowler. But as you see, what you need to do against the bowler is you need to get that miner down, distract the bowler from hitting your 3 musketeers, and then once you can distract the bowler from hitting your 3 musketeers and onto your miner, your musketeers will do work. But it's really hard to get the timing exactly right, and I just eventually got it there.
Yeah, you tried 3 or 4 times. You were able to get that bowler to turn around a few times, but just he was able to punish you with the odd zap arrow log combo on your.
Yeah, he just kept throwing spells at it, but
that's all he could do.
I got
but yeah,
through. You just got to keep trying.
Yeah,
and I think he actually made a mistake there. He probably could have defended if he had committed his elixir to defense, but he played the giant minions on the other side. And you have to recognize when you play the giant minions with like 7 or 8 seconds left, it's not quite going to get there in time to finish the other guy off. So I was able to ignore it and just go to finish him off on the other side. So that was a bit of a mistake by him as well.
Well done, man. And now you're sitting pretty at 47-56. Good job. Pretty early in the season too.
Yeah, I'm really happy with that. I'm actually 36 in the US checking right now. And,
nice.
Let's see. I think I might be the highest level 12 in the US. Actually, the second highest behind the Crid, who's actually playing almost the same deck as me, and he's also in Reddit Alpha. So proud to say we have a lot of high level 12s in Reddit Alpha.
That's really cool.
Excited to see what happens once we get maxed, you know?
Yeah, man, it'll be really cool. Are you close to leveling up to 13 or?
Not quite. I still don't even have max common cards. I'm at almost 40,000 out of 80,000, but I'm working on it. I'm trying to play as many challenges as I can when I'm free.
Nice. I saw that you maxed out the 3 musketeers, and that's good for you, right?
Like, yeah, that's another tip that's really important is if you know you're gonna play something like 3 musketeers on ladder that's so level dependent, you really want to get them up to max as soon as you can, because what used to happen was I would have, even when I had up to level 10, I would push up to like a bit over 5,000, and then I just face max fireballs every game, and it's basically an impossible matchup when they can one-shot your musketeers with their fireball. So ladders are actually so much more enjoyable for me now that I've max 3 musketeers. Is I never get those one-shot by fireball, and that makes a huge difference. So really, I just say I requested them for like 6 or 7 months straight, and if you really care about a card level like that, just request it, and don't be afraid to do the same thing over and over again. You know, I think a lot of people spread it out, but if you're more of like a person who enjoys one deck, just go for it, you know?
Yeah, I think a lot of people are going to be requesting the 3 musketeers a lot now after this video, so but
I hope so.
Dude, it was great to have you on, man. Congratulations on that live win there. That was a pretty awesome finish at the very last second there, and I'd love to have you back on again, especially if you have any variations or updates on this deck that you want to share. So you got my info, and all you guys out there, make sure you check out DarthJarJar. I'll have all the information that you need for him, again, in the show notes. And again, special thanks to Bren Chong. Follow him at Bren Chong, my YouTube partner. And I think that covers it for me, DarthJarJar. Any shout-outs or any parting words for the folks out there?
I mean, thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it. Shout out to all the guys in Reddit Alpha. Marcel P has been building up a big YouTube channel. Woody, of course.
Yeah,
the Crid playing the 3 Musketeer deck very well as well, I guess. And just one more thing, I want to give a shout out to Esley, who's been pushing using the deck that I'm playing. And I actually originally got the idea to sub the Ice Golem in as a 3rd tank from him. He's been playing on the account If You and doing really well on the global leaderboard. So
excellent. I think he contacted me about this deck as well to come on the channel, and I've never had him on the channel before, and maybe we can get a 3 Musketeer versus 3 Musketeer Pro v Pro going on. I don't know if you're both interested, but I'll be in contact.
Yeah, that would definitely be fun.
It would be.
But Esley's an extremely good player, so I think those would be some good matches.
I think so too. All right, well, DarthJarJar, thanks so much again. Guys, be sure to check out all his information. Twitter and stuff I'll include as well, and we'll see you back soon, man.
Okay, thanks. Thanks for having me on. See ya.
No problem. Take care.
You too.